Matthew 22:35 through 40. It was as if he were channeling the prophet Jeremiah when God said, I will put my law within them, and I will write on their hearts. Now, do the commandments have relevance today? I think it is a matter of those expectations I referred to earlier. If your expectations in life are unreal, your disappointments will be huge. If in starting a family your expectation is that you will enjoy selfless devotion to kids and from kids and a constant romance of support and togetherness, and your expectation for church is the thrill of one euphoric experience after another, you'll probably not hang around too long. If you think it will fix all your problems and all your problems of your kids as well, you will suffer the disgust of the mother lambasting the school board member. If, on the other hand, you see that the Church of Jesus Christ as a growing garden, full of both sweet corn and manure, both holiness and holy mass, you might find an overview of encouragement. You might uncover a sense of adventure and possibly a community where we have realistic shot at being changed, transformed through the joys and sorrows, the rigors and the delights of the shared community. Similarly, if you can forget about the early Sunday school teacher who warned that the commandments come on a stone tablet that can never be bent, only broken, then we might appreciate them more as ethical standards, a message that to be human is to be responsible. If you let go of the negativity, they might become navigational aids in the sea of life. After all, navigation has been a necessary component of human community since the dawn of civilization. At sea, the position of the stars and planets on any particular night helps fix a vessel's position. Closer to shore, there are landmarks such as a jetty, a lighthouse, or an inland mountain peak. In a very real way, such directional signs are a source of liberation. They free of us from following erroneous ways and assist us in making wise decisions in the route our life takes. Some sort of standards today may be useful. It's not often that most Americans are feeling the same thing at the same time, mostly talking about the same thing, and all worrying about the same thing. There's anger, but underneath the anger there is a deeper level of fear in America right now. The collapse of Wall Street, the deepening economic recession, the clear threat of another depression now looming have become the overriding focus for the upcoming election. Too many seem to have been abandoned the principles of integrity and honesty and fairness and replaced them with the goal of winning. Even it means lying and cheating and stealing. We live in a world that is caught in a whirlpool of change, and concern for the have-nots and helpless people in our society has been replaced with our own selfish desires to make it, no matter what the cost. What does the Bible say about all the issues now being raised? What does our theology tell us about money and possessions, wealth and power, credit and responsibility, financial choices, economic values versus family values, lifestyle and stewardship, generosity and justice, and both personal and social responsibilities? Remember the 10 Commandments. Remember Jesus saying, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest, and the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. With such commandments as navigational aids, perhaps there is a creative opportunity and new solutions that could come out of all this, like the possibilities of mutual aid, congregational and community credit unions, and new cooperative strategies for solving problems like healthcare, housing, and even jobs. God is still in the mix, but we need some strategies, some guidance to rely upon. Our financial tumble has been, at least in part, due to the lack of rules, a lack of oversight, and mostly a lack of clear path and shared destination. Our financial bailout is running into trouble not only from lack of clarity and accountability, but also because the government did not consider all the major players. The government forgot that we have a globalized financial system in which a crisis that began with Florida condos and California mansions now causes monetary catastrophe in Iceland and financial disaster around the globe. We're all in this together, and we need a shared solution. Jesus based his life on politics of a new age. He foresaw a new kind of kingdom that not only cares for the poor, but is willing to be poor. A kingdom not only refuses to participate in the world's violence, but is willing to die at the hands of the violent world. He offered a way to deal with offenders by forgiving them. He gave them a new way to sharing it. He gave them a new way to deal with problems of leadership by drawing on the gift of every member. Even the most humble, he gave them a new way to deal with a corrupt society by building a new order, not remaking the old. He gave them a new pattern of relationship in which we learn to accept and value one another, no matter our status or gender or job. In closing, some of the beauty and significance of the church remains a mystery. Why do certain people would bother to love others, forgive others, and serve others? Why some people gather to try to understand and live into a St. Francis kind of life that asks us to seek to understand more than to be understood, to console more than to be consoled, seek hope over despair and faith over doubt. Why do some of us walk into this call willingly? It is beyond common comprehension. But church reminds us the impossible is possible. Jesus' rendering of the Ten Commandments makes it simple. The problem is simple. It's not easy. And now to do our closing benediction, Pastor Jessica.
Afterwards a quiet, after the songs a silence. After the crowd the only memory recalls the gathering. Peace and justice have need of you after the words, the music, and the gathering. God grant you the depth of dedication to justice. God grant you the will to be an apostle of peace. Amen.